Hello there, welcome to my views and news. First news story is from Somalia, where Somalia's government is propagating a very dangerous narrative against Ethiopia. 2 days ago, Interior Minister of Somalia spoke, and last night, Ministry of Empowerment and Religious Affairs officials and some clerics spoke. Secondly, Amhara region of Ethiopia, where a prosperity party leader has been abducted by security forces. Not by security forces, but by Fano fighters. Who is he? Where was he abducted? Thirdly, telephonic conversation between Hassan Sheikh, Somalia's president, and Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, obviously agenda. The topic of discussion was the MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. After this talk, UN issued a statement. So, what is UN's stance on the rising tension between Ethiopia and Somalia? Firstly, viewers, we know that today is a big day in Mogadishu, in other parts of Somalia. Big protests are expected. Protests already ongoing. I'll do a detailed video in coming hours. And what will happen in Somaliland today? Protests to support the protests in Mogadishu or anti-Mogadishu protests. So in coming video, we'll analyze that. Now, firstly, viewers, religious card is being played by Somalia very systematically. 2 days ago, we heard from Interior Minister of Somalia. The minister said that Orthodox Church of Ethiopia had appointed a priest for Sailak in Audal zone of the Somali land. And the minister said that it was a provocation. Muslims should unite. Orthodox Church of Ethiopia wants to expand into the territories of Somalia. It wasn't a one-time allegation against Somalia's government. Now it seems that Somalia has launched a religious narrative to rally public support, to mobilize people against Ethiopia. A very dangerous and alarming move. Last night, Somalia's Ministry of Empowerment and Religious Affairs officials held a press briefing. Some Muslim clerics were there too. And they asked the people of Somalia, all Somali people, to wage war, holy war, jihad on Ethiopian government. They leveled serious allegations. I don't want to repeat what they said, but they are trying to make it a religious war. Somalia's government officials, they are trying to make it a religious war between Muslims of Somalia, Somaliland, Somali region of Ethiopia, and non-Muslims of Ethiopia. It's a very alarming, dangerous narrative. And the Ministry of Empowerment and Religious Affairs urged Muslims in entire East Africa to unite. They said that all Muslims in other East African countries too, they should unite because this is a fight for survival. Christians want to expand their religion by force. So it cannot be more alarming than that. I, by the way, have been warning that Somalia would play all cards. Ethnic, religious. I don't want to repeat. Those who watch videos regularly, they know. And Somalia is not taking into account the consequences of this narrative. This narrative is going to be accepted. It will sell in Somalia because it's a very religious society, tribal society. And Somalia's government wants to keep Al Shabaab away too. Al Shabaab wants to cash in on this situation by accusing Somalia's government that Somalia's government is in secret alliance with the Ethiopian government and that Al Shabaab is fighting to protect Islam. So Somalia, through this new narrative, wants to defend from Al Shabaab's anti Somalia government narrative. And secondly, it wants to rally public support behind its moves. Alarming developments in the Horn of Africa. If the conflict goes on, believe me, it will have wider catastrophic consequences for Ethiopia, Somalia, Somaliland, and other countries. Somaliland is a self-declared country. Let me clarify. People say, Sajid, you equate Somaliland with Ethiopia or Somalia. I never say that Somaliland is a country. I always say it's a self-declared country, unrecognized by international community. So this is what is happening in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia making preparations, Ethiopian Navy making preparations. Ethiopian ministers have been heard saying that they want to make the most of this MOU. They want to implement the MOU. No signs of withdrawal of Ethiopia. Meanwhile, in Somalia, we are seeing alarming moves which are going to endanger the two groups, Muslims and non Muslims, in Ethiopia, Somalia, and Somaliland. This atmosphere of religious harmony could be in danger in Somalia and Somaliland more than in Ethiopia, it seems. Secondly, viewers, the Fano fighters have captured a prosperity party leader. Fano fighters have intensified their attacks on prosperity party members, militia members, government officials. Several attacks in main towns and cities in the last 2 weeks. They entered Debre Birhan, they entered Gonda, they entered Marsa, Chilga too in central Gonda, where they killed some district level revenue and security leaders. And now Bahirda, regional capital seat of Amhara regional government, where a prosperity party member has been abducted by Fano fighters. Who is he? What is his name? His name is Dasalin Abira, a district level leader of prosperity party. His whereabouts are unknown. Most people say that he has been abducted by Fano fighters, and the man is known for taking strong positions, supporting the military operation against Fano fighters. Wherever Fano fighters see that government official militia members are proactively supporting or participating in the military operation against Fano fighters identify those people. Lists are prepared. By the way, in all cities of the Amhara region, Fano fighters have their spies, their sleeper cells, people support them. So it's not difficult for them to get real time information about the movement of pro government elements in main cities, small cities of the Amhara region as well. They get real time information about the movement of Ethiopian National Defense Force, too, about meetings being held, about the status of prisoners, about what is happening in police stations, too. They're monitoring each and every development in the Amhara region like a government does. And when they see that they should resort to armed attack on a place or target killing of particular individual, they easily achieve their objectives. This is the overall situation in the Amhara region. While government says that Fano groups have been defeated and people are standing behind the military, and that military has successfully restored constitutional order in the Amhara region, an attempt to destabilize the region has been foiled. Region is destabilized, seriously destabilized. Economic activities, educational activities to a standstill. No foreign direct investment is coming. Even aid organizations are finding it difficult to gain access to the drought affected areas. We heard from health ministry, regional health ministry a few days ago, which said it was finding it difficult to supply HIV drugs to the region. Roads remain closed. Ambulances are attacked because ambulances are being used by both parties. Government officials use ambulances to move from one to other place. Why? Because their vehicles are targeted, so they're using ambulances to hide their movement. I think in Chilga, when Fano fighters killed local level officials, they were traveling in an ambulance. And Fano fighters use ambulances as well. So, serious disruption to healthcare activities in the Amhara region. Humanitarian catastrophe unfolding, but no one is allowed to enter and cover the situation there. That is why international media is unable to report. Only telephonic interviews are being conducted, but if region is opened, you'll see several stories of humanitarian crisis which are going to happen in the Amhara region. Lastly, viewers, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres held telephonic conversation with Hassan Sheikh, Somalia's president. Topic of the discussion was definitely the ongoing confrontation between Ethiopia and Somalia over the MOU signed with Ethiopia and Somaliland. After this telephonic call, UN issued a statement. UN Secretary General reaffirmed his support, UN support for Somalia's territorial integrity and sovereignty, and he urged the two parties to start dialogue to resolve this issue. So, a balanced statement from UN, but the call indicates how important, how far-reaching could be the consequences of Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU. That everyone is concerned: EU, US, UN, Arab League, OIC, Africa Union, IGAD, countries in the region, Turkey, Egypt, Eritrea, all and some others have issued statements. It means that Ethiopia-Somaliland MOU is not just an MOU between two sides, but it is going to have wider regional consequences. That is why international regional powers are calling for calm, asking the parties to start talks. Talks not happening so far. No signs of talks between Ethiopia and Somalia. I think Abiy tried to engage Hassan Sheikh. Hassan Sheikh resisted. He did not attend Abiy's call. So then how will dialogue start, by the way? Especially if the MOU converts into a deal, if it has not been signed already. We don't know because MOU has not been published. Maybe deal has been signed, not being published. We don't know. So overall, international community's concern situation in this part of the world is very tense, and that is why they are showing their concern. But all of them have, in their statements, showed their resolve to back Somalia's sovereignty or integrity. But in case of Ethiopia pressing ahead with having a base in Somaliland and recognizes Somaliland, what will international community do? This is the question. Issuing a statement is one thing. Practically doing something is another. What will OIC, Arab League, IGAD, UN, etc. do if Ethiopia decides to press ahead with the implementation of the MOU? This is the important question which will be answered in coming weeks and months if Ethiopia decides to implement the MOU. Thank you for watching.